on this. If you have hesitation issues, you can respond. Hey guys, John here with Tomorrow's Tech. Have you been looking for an AC to DC power conversion solution to work on automotive that won't break the bank? Well, today I'm going to show you how you can take this Delta Electronics. This is a DSP 750EB. This is just a power shelf. You slide this into a power rack in a server room or whatever. It's what they use to run AC to DC power conversion. I'm going to teach you guys how to do a couple modifications to make this work. It's going to come looking like this with a little power board on the back of it. Once you get done today, it's going to have some battery terminal leads on it. The power cord, you just go plug it into the wall. We've got a voltmeter up here in the front so you can see how many volts you're running. I've actually drilled a hole into the side here where you can get into the voltage adjustment, so you can adjust the voltage. So you can get about anywhere from 12.5 up to 14.6 volts out of this unit right here. So if you guys are looking for a solution, if you guys are doing automotive battery I'm sorry, not battery, but if you guys are doing electronics, stereo installs, stuff like that, you can actually plug this into the wall in your garage, and that way your battery's not going dead while you're playing with all your power equipment. The reason I purchased this setup and decided to go with these modifications, I'm working on Porsche, so if you're doing any kind of tuning or any type of programming on your higher end cars like the Porsche models, you're going to want a very specific unit in order to do that. So Porsche recommends that you have something at least 60 amps, adjustable, continuous voltage. You need something that's not going to fluctuate, so you can't use battery terminals, you can't use regular battery chargers. Usually you're going to spend anywhere from $6,000 to maybe up to $2,000 for the proper units that you can make this actually do for you for roughly around $100. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this camera around. We're going to get started. I'm going to show you guys how to build this. It's going to save you a ton of money. I'm super happy with it. It's not super pretty, but it's going to do what I need it to do. And also I just want to say I can't take credit for this build. The guys over at 6 Speed Online, they have an article. I'm going to leave that article in the description so you guys can go check it out. Another guy did a really great write-up on this, and then a lot of other experienced guys came in after and left their comments in the threads. So I kind of took a little bit of all of that and came up with my build. I'm just going to do a video on it and show you guys how to do it. Alright guys, so we're going to flip this camera around and get started. Alright guys, so here we are. We've got our Delta Electronics. This is a DPS 750 EB, as you can see there. Alright, so this is going to be quick and easy. A couple things that we're going to need. I picked these up on Amazon. These are our resistors. These out. Okay. So I think I picked these up. I got a whole bunch of them for, I don't know, maybe $5 or something. These are the 1K ohm. So we're going to go ahead and pluck one out of here. Okay, so we're going to be using one of these. Alright, got us little set of battery terminal clamps. We're going to be pulling these off. We're going to remove the old solder. As you can see there, we're going to remove that old solder there, and we're going to install 6 gauge. So we're going to cut these off and resolder these. And here, we've got this voltmeter display with some 3M backing that we're going to use so that we can see our voltage once we're done. And then depending on where you get your power supply unit, you may or may not need to get a cable. So if you need the proper cable, you can see here. So I'll leave a link for that as well, just in case you need it. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and start here. Got our electrical solder. I picked one of these up for the magnifying glass portion. I've already used these clamps in a couple other videos that you guys recently saw. This bar with this rail clamp on it is amazing for doing solder work on automotive. You just pull this bar off of the unit itself, and you can go out and hold 2 wires together while you're soldering. It's amazing. I've got my iFixit kit here. I use this for all my little electronics. It's got every bit in there you can imagine. And on top of that, it's got a kit with all kinds of little goodies in it that you can use for electronic pieces. Alright guys, you can do this a couple different ways. You can solder your clamp leads onto your ground and your positive onto the motherboard itself. Or you can be like me. I went ahead and drilled some holes so that I could screw in. Actually, I have some machine screws here. These are a 1/4 inch by 20 by 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and screw these machine screws up through the bottom so that I have some posts. So I went ahead and drilled the holes for these already. So all I'm going to do now is begin on my soldering. So I'm going to get you guys zoomed in here the best you can. But before we do that, let me show you what I'm working with here. Let's go ahead and zoom out. Alright, so I went ahead and got a Weller soldering iron. I attempted to do soldering in the past with a cheap Harbor Freight soldering iron, and I got to tell you, it does not work out very well at all. You're going to be very unsatisfied with your results. And you can actually pick this one up pretty cheap. It's not a very expensive unit. And you want to make sure that you have the proper soldering tools. I've got a couple different types of wire here. I've got some that require flux paste. I've got a little bit of a solder wick here so that I can undo any mistakes. This stuff's actually really cool. I do have some solder with the flux built into it. So usually this thicker solder here, you can split it open and you'll see that it actually has flux built into the solder rather than applying it yourself. So another thing that you might want to get a tip cleaner. So as you're soldering, Now, same concept with this solder wick here. So once you get it hot enough and you put it over the solder absorbs into this. So when you're doing solder work, you can dip it into your little canister here, and it'll remove any excess solder from the tip of your gun. Okay, but this isn't a solder class. This is just giving you a couple tips in case you haven't been soldering. I suggest maybe you watch a couple videos before you do it like I did. And with that said, what we're gonna do, I ordered a kit off of Amazon for some battery clamps for our job, and it came with some smaller gauge wire. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a piece of this wire off so that we can make our bridge from our pins 70 and 69 here on the board. Okay, so if you can look here, you'll be able to see the 70, and that's going to be pin 70 right here. All right, and then pin 69 right beside it. So we're going to start our job off by bridging these two together, and then we're going to stick in an attachment wire from these two bridges over, and we're going to bridge it to our ground over here on the big board. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my soldering iron on. I'm going to let it get heated up. Then I'm going to go ahead and make a little bridge here. All right, so that's probably about the size I'm going to need. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and strip a little bit off of here. I'm going to zoom this camera back out for you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take some off there. Twist those together. I'm going to take some off here. Same thing. I'm going to twist those together. Might actually strip just a little bit more off of this one. Alright, so one important thing with solder, here I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick. I'm using these Zeiss lens wipes that I use for my computer gear, camera stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and clean these up really well. You don't want to make a mistake here. If you don't get these contacts done correctly, you could actually mess this up as well. And we want to make something that's going to be reliable and work for a while. We want to be able to get through our jobs here. Okay, so by now your heating gun should be nice and toasty. Nice toasty. Alright, then I'm going to go ahead and take the solder, and I'm just going to burn it on here. Just like that. We're going to do the same thing on this other side, on our port 69 here. Okay, so we got this two. Bridge together, nice little log here. Alright, so then I'm going to come over here and kind of heat this spot up right here. Let it down flatter. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing here. Leave a nice little blob here. Just like that. Let's go ahead and do this side first. So I'm going to go ahead and melt what I've got here. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this little guy here right into it. Just like that. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Go ahead and mount this. Actually, okay. So now that we've got our 70 and 69 bridged, and we've got it ran over here to our ground, we're going to go ahead and grab a 1 ohm resistor. All right. And we're going to go ahead and place it on the board. Got it there. It's being a little stubborn. Just like that. I'm gonna grab our little guy here, and we're just gonna tape this back. Just like that. And we're going to go ahead and grab these two pins right here, and we're going to pull those out. So in order to do that, you're going to want to grab your pliers here. We're going to go ahead and grab the first one, pull it out, just like that. We're going to grab our second one, pull it out. We're going to take these and just stick them up in here for now. Kind of get them out of the way there. All right, so this is why I wanted to use my phone, because I think it can zoom in a little better than what I was using. Position here a little better. All right. So once you're in here, what we're going to do is we're going to take this one right here and we're going to solder it to this little red one right here. We want to create a bridge between these two right here. Okay? All right, when in doubt, use the big stuff. I'm going to go ahead and maybe just clean it up just a little bit. I'm going to get carried away or I will make a mistake. So now we're going to go ahead and flip our unit around here. I'm going to zoom out. And I'm going to go ahead and grab these screws that I showed you earlier. And I'm going to come around here and go ahead and start screwing these. Do the same thing. Okay. All right. So if you guys want to adjust your voltage adjustment is going to be over here. You see these three adjustable contacts. You're looking for this one right here. All right. So if you guys want to, if I can find my case here, one thing that you can do, so you don't have to keep yanking the case off, you can actually take and drill a hole here. That way you can get a screwdriver in and adjust whenever you need to, which is exactly what I've done. So now that all of our soldering's done, we've got our contacts in, I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. We're going to go ahead and grab our X-Acto knife here, and I'm going to cut a little hole right in here as well. Drawing our holes back up here. Alright, so here are the leads that I got. I purchased these on Amazon, and I tried to solder these the other day when I had a heat gun that wasn't working properly, so we're going to try it again real quick with this new one. Alright guys, we've got our homemade power supply kind of hooked up. I went ahead and stuck my gauge over here on this side. I'm going to redo it with some 3M tape here in a little bit. But for now I just went ahead and taped it to the side. Only because I'm going to always have the hood open when I'm doing my car. And I'm going to have it laying on the engine pretty much like this. And I want to be able to check the voltage and see it myself while I'm inside the car programming. So yeah. So these normally don't come with the power supplies. So I had to buy a power supply for it as well. I got this on Amazon. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. And now we're going to go ahead and plug it into the wall. I'm going to make sure the leads are away from each other. And now it's time for the moment of truth. Okay guys, as you can see here, the power supply unit is working. There's all the damage we did back here in the back. Alright guys, so when you plug this into the battery, it is going to come on. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and plug it up now, and you'll see it shoot up from 11 volts up to where we need to be. Alright, see we've got our voltage set to 14.2. So at this point we can go ahead and get started on our programming. Alright guys, there you have it. That's how we can put together a really nice power supply unit that can take care of our needs for right around $100. I hope this video really helps you guys out, and I hope it encourages you to step up and try to do this on your own. Save a little bit of money, put that money in your pocket so you can buy more parts. Alright, so if you guys don't mind, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching my video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and while you're at it, check out some of my social media pages below and the new videos I got coming out next.